Hey guys, I am CMA Supra, and welcome to another Company of Heroes gameplay commentary. This is Panzer Elite versus the Brits, so it's the two opposing factions facing each other. Of course, it's opposing factions facing each other. It's the two opposing fronts factions facing each other. There we go. So, it's on the map Bow Lowlands, which some people hate, some people like. I personally like it, actually. There's one slight imbalance in the middle where the bridge is, but other than that, I think it's a good map, and as long as nobody abuses the ability to destroy the bridge, it's not that bad, really. So, this video is going to be about micro. I was recently asked by someone who did not understand what micro is. They wondered what micro was, so I keep using was and is. Anyways, micro is where you take a single one of your units and you manually move them around rather than clicking and dragging a whole group of units and moving them around. Um, this game really shows it off quite well, so I decided to make a video out of this game about micro. Um, yeah, that's going to be a little later in this match. As always, at the beginning there's not too much to show. There's the basic skirmish right here. I'm in green cover, he's in yellow cover. So his infantry is twice as strong as my infantry, and they also cost twice as much. That's not true. They cost almost twice as much. But I'm in green cover, so I am actually getting quite a big benefit from that. In addition to just surviving and killing his units, I am delaying him, so he's not capturing any points with this unit, even if he's sniping me. And so I'm capturing the map with my Kettenkrad. He doesn't have a single unit capturing anywhere on the map. All three of his units are here right now, because he can't have more than 3 units at this point. Yeah, he just can't. He's Brits. You can't have more than 3 units at this point. So I've seen all 3 of his units right here, so I know he's not capturing the map. I can just capture the rest of the map freely without any harassment on my Kettenkrad at all. Except now that he's retreated all 3 of his units, I don't know where they're going to be. So that's when it becomes a little troublesome, but it's still perfectly fine for me because I have so much of the map, I don't have to worry. So now I'm just trying to cut him off with my infantry, and I have my Kettenkrad capturing the bigger points on the left side of the map. And you notice I keep my infantry really close to the green cover on the left side. You can't see it right now. Now you can. You see I'm keeping them really close to some kind of cover. I'm not willing to even go capture that strategic point on the left side of my opponent's base, below where I'm currently capturing a strategic point with my infantry. I'm not even willing to go that far away from green cover, because I know if I'm not fighting him while I'm in green cover, then I'm probably going to lose the battle. It doesn't matter what's involved. I mean, it does matter, but I only have 2 infantry units, so I know I'm going to be in trouble if I'm not in green cover. And this is quite an overwhelming battle for me. 2 infantry sections, and a Brin carrier, and a, what's he called, lieutenant in the Brin carrier, versus 2 Panzer Grenadier squads. You pretty much just retreat the Panzer Grenadier squads because you don't want to overstay your welcome. You want to retreat when you know you're going to lose the battle. You almost never want to stay and fight a battle you know you're going to lose. There are rare instances, I've mentioned this before, there are rare instances where you do want to stay and fight even though you know you're going to lose. But most of the time, if you know you're going to lose, you don't want to stay, so you just retreat. And now because of my retreat and his overwhelming force, he's actually taking most of the map, but on the left side. But I'm not really worried because I have 2 infantry squads on the right side of the map, and I still have a Kettenkrad capturing on the left side, and once he's done with that I can move him over to the right side and he can capture points on the right side faster than my opponent can capture points on the left side, because I'll be attacking him on the left side as I am capturing the right side. That way I can keep him distracted so he can't capture points, while I can capture points. Just like I did at the beginning of the match, where he didn't capture any points because I had all 3 of his units distracted. So I have built a... oh gosh, what's that called? Scout car. And that's because scout cars are actually really good against British infantry. Most people don't realize it. They think scout cars just suck ever since they got nerfed. But they're actually pretty good against British infantry. I almost always go tier 1 against Brits and tier 2 against Americans in terms of which building to build first. Tier 1 being the logistic company, tier 2 being comp-proof company. And yeah. I pretty much always build the scout cars against the Brits. Just because they're so strong, and because of the Bren carrier, I can easily counter the Bren carrier with my scout car. I don't know if the scout car is stronger, but it's a lot easier to circle the Bren carrier. And here I just decide my Kettenkrad is doomed, so bye-bye Kettenkrad, I'm just never gonna see you again. I'm gonna get out of here before I start losing too many units. And you notice my infantry is still in green cover in the battle that's going on, while I just look at these 2 infantry squads. Okay, so now we're back to the battle. You notice that they're still in green cover. I have not moved them out of green cover. I just lost a squad. That is not good. Yay, I made one of the squads retreat, and then I moved my scout car up so that I can get in behind the opponent so he doesn't have the benefit of green cover, because there's a difference between directional cover and non-directional cover in this game. The wall that's green cover right there is directional, so if the wall is between you and your opponent, the wall will give you cover, but if the opponent is behind you, then the wall won't give you any kind of cover. Whereas if you're in a bush with yellow cover, you'll get cover no matter where your opponent is, because you're in a bush, it's not directional. And there you saw my scout car just owned the Bren carrier. It destroyed the engine, so now my opponent will have to spend 35 munitions to repair it, or get sappers, whichever one he decides to do, if he decides to even repair it. Which I would highly recommend, since it has a damage engine, it's just going to be ridiculously slow otherwise. So, I decided to stay in tier 1 a really long time, which is why I got the anti-tank grenades. As you can see on the left side of the screen, it says they are completed. And the reason I decided to stay in tier 1 for so long was because I needed all the firepower I could get with my infantry so that I could beat this British horde of infantry. Now here is where Micro kind of comes in. So I am moving up the scout car so that he is not letting the infantry sections get the benefit of green cover. Sadly, I didn't move him back fast enough, but that's bad Micro on my part. And then I have to retreat those Panzer Grenadier squad men. Those Panzer Grenadier men, yes. But I retreated them a little too late, they took too much damage, and then I decided to attack with this scout car and hopefully destroy the Bren carrier. The downside is it didn't work. I ended up losing that scout car instead. There it goes. So that's an example of bad Micro, because I lost pretty much every single unit that went into that battle, except for one Panzer Grenadier squad. So now I know I'm slightly behind in terms of firepower, so I decided to just focus on capturing the right side and keeping him off of the right side, rather than trying to maintain a hold on the left. So I am pretty much moving everything to the right side at this point. I was hoping he would stay in battle because I knew that he would lose that battle, but so did he, so we decided to retreat rather than stay and take unnecessary losses, and he did not repair the Bren carrier. He still has a damaged engine, so it's just slowly going around. I would personally repair that as soon as I got 35 munitions, which he probably does have. at this point. I don't know, but he probably has it, so he really should spend those munitions repairing that Bryn carrier. But if he doesn't want to, that's fine. By me. Because it makes it easier on me for me to win the game. How many times did I say me? 3 or 4 times in that one sentence? Wow. Alright, so... Is that my... What? Oh, that's my scout car, okay. Yeah, now it's time for the Bryn carrier to die. I have you stuck, you can't go anywhere. Haha. No, no, you're running away. No. Yes, I got you. Haha. Oh, Lieutenant. I want to kill the Lieutenant. Spoiler alert. No, I do not kill the Lieutenant. I just chase it down a ways. And this is micro as well, because I am constantly clicking slightly behind the scout car so that he'll back up rather than turning around. And yeah, that's a good example of micro, where you take an individual unit and you manually keep moving it around. Micro is pretty, I'm not saying it's pretty like it looks pretty, I'm saying it's pretty something. It's hard to do, kind of. It takes your attention, it takes a lot of your attention, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so micro is very important in this game. It's not as important as macro is in other games. This game is more micro-based, and I knew my scout car there was doomed, but I wanted to decap the fuel point so that my opponent couldn't have the fuel point as a place to put his tier 2 building, field support truck I believe it is called, because you might have seen it driving up, I know I did, on the left side of the map. I knew he was going to put it on that fuel point, so I wanted to decap the fuel point so that he wouldn't be able to put the tier 2 truck, field support truck, on the fuel point. And there I was just looking, trying to figure out which direction the MG was facing. I couldn't figure it out. So I just ended up sending some units in to see which way it was facing. Now a little trick that you guys should probably know is that if you are currently capturing a point away from a British player, even if the British player already owns the point, they cannot place one of their trucks on that point because you are capturing it. So they can own it, but as long as you're still trying to capture it, they can't put a truck on there. And that is really useful. If you have a squad just constantly trying to capture the point, they can't use the point, even if they're getting resources from it. So yeah, that's a little trick that you guys should know. Alright, so I'm just trying to capture the left side now because I have the whole right side. I was like, why am I trying to capture the left side? But now I remember, because I have the whole right side, as you can see on the mini-map. Yeah, I have the whole right side because of my Kettenkrad. Kettenkrad is so useful as Panzer Elite, but if you lose it, that's a huge setback. Even though it only costs 160 or 165 manpower, I can't remember which it is. It's still a huge setback if you lose it. And this is a scout car that was intended to kill the lieutenant, but I didn't realize my opponent had all that infantry over there. So I ended up just running away, and I have a damaged engine, which means I move the same speed that infantry move. So I'm probably not going to make it out of there. Nope, out of control. I did not make it out of there. Yeah. Now I'm just stocking up on resources. Wow. I have 3 Panzer Grenadier squads on the right side, and they're in some decent cover, or decent spots. I have 1 squad on the left side, which I can't move up because of that MG nest my opponent has set up. And I also can't go left to bypass the MG nest because there's another MG nest there. So my opponent knew pretty well how to lock down the left side. What he didn't plan for was vehicles, but in terms of locking it down from infantry, he did a really good job. So credit to him for that. I bought this scout car just to have an OP, an observation point equivalent. So I upgraded it, whatever that upgrade is called. I don't know. I don't think I've ever known what that upgrade is called. Logistic upgrade. There we go. I now know what it's called. Learn something every day, even if you've been playing this game for 6 years. Anyways, so that munitions point is now giving me plus 26 munitions rather than the plus 16 it was giving before. And the reason I want all those munitions is so that I can spam my AT grenades, which I bought. I think I forgot to explain why I went... No, I did explain why I stayed in Tier 1 for so long. It's because I wanted all the firepower at the front rather than having any one of my squads building in the back of my base. And these guys need to retreat. There you go. Only after I throw the incendiary grenade do I retreat. That's not really smart, but oh well. And here is the other reason I wanted those munitions. Butterfly bombs. I haven't unlocked them yet because I don't have enough command points, but butterfly bombs, I really wanted those because I knew my opponent was just grouping all of his infantry together. So if I had butterfly bombs, I could really do quite a bit of damage to his infantry. So I decided to go for butterfly bombs and a high munitions count. Or munitions supply, I guess would be the better way to say that. Oh yeah, I got 4-man squads as well because I wanted more firepower in my squads. I also upgraded a lot of them to G43s, but not all of them, just in case I need a Panzerschrecks or something. In the end, it probably wouldn't have made any kind of a difference, but yay, I just totally annihilated his assault here. But he has a Stuart tank, so here is where I use my brand new something. What did I build? Was it the munitions half-track? Yeah. My brand new munitions half-track. If you don't know what that does, what it does is when it's next to your infantry, it cuts down the recharge speed, or recharge time, for any ability the Panzer Grenadiers have that uses munitions, such as AT grenades and incendiary grenades, and Panzerfausts, I believe. Yes, well, any munitions ability, so Panzerfausts included, from the Fallschirmjäger infantry. And here are my butterfly bombs, right outside the range of the enemy's sight, so I know he doesn't see them, but I put them on the bridge because I have a feeling they're going to be necessary to beat this Stuart. And I'm able to push off his infantry, and my munitions half-track recharges the incendiary grenades and AT grenades on my infantry so that I don't have to wait the long 2 minutes or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. It's extremely long recharge time. I keep switching between the munitions and the fuel point back there for which one to OP. I mean, it's just based on which one I need at the time, really. Oh yeah, something else I should really tell you guys. The AT grenade lands where you click on the ground. It does not land on a unit, even if you click on a unit. So if you click on a unit for the AT grenade, and then the unit moves, the AT grenade will still land exactly where the unit was when you clicked. So it attacks the ground, not the unit. So you should always aim ahead of where he's going to be, or if he moves it before your infantry actually throw the grenade, cancel the grenade. And the Panzer IV is now completed, so I can beat his infantry, and those mines are not doing anything. There we go! I immobilized the Stuart. That is exactly what I wanted. Could not have been better. And my munitions half-tractors ended up being the bait for the Stuart. We'll have to see if it survives. I'm not going to say the answer. Ooh, I just killed a squad, I think. You saw those 4 experience things on the bridge, maybe? The green experience things that come up when you kill a unit. Or a man in a unit. You get the idea. So, my Panzer IV infantry support tank. Let's talk about that some. I decided to get that because, well, my opponent has tons of infantry just grouped together, so it's the same reason I decided to get butterfly bombs. And there's an AT grenade, boom, Stuart dead. So yeah, I decided to get the infantry support tank just because he's always grouping his infantry together, and that's exactly what the infantry support tank is good against. So, yeah. Just an extra side benefit is they can take down Stuarts, so my opponent Stuarts are now pretty much useless unless they can get away from my Panzer IV IST, which is kind of unlikely because of how close attention I'm paying to where it is and where all my units are. I haven't talked much about micro, which is the topic of this video, sadly, because I haven't really had any good examples of it. But I believe there are some good examples towards the end. In fact, I know there are good examples towards the end. I know it for a fact. I remember this now. I just played this like an hour ago, but yeah. I remember it. You'd hope I remember something from an hour ago. So I have the whole right side of the map again. I don't know if I ever lost it, but I have it now. And my opponent has the left side. So he has me locked down with those 2 MG nests. I'm still waiting for them to get destroyed by by something. I was thinking I could go behind his lines with the infantry support tank to try and destroy the MG nests without having his infantry next to the MG nests. But his HQ isn't at his spawn HQ point, which is a good thing for him because you get more resources if you move it somewhere else. It acts as an OP, an observation point, so you pretty much want to move it somewhere else, but never too early, don't get me wrong like that. If you move it too early, you're pretty much screwed because your opponent will find it, and then they can easily take it down. And you'll see here, his whole army is right there, around his HQ, so I'm like, okay, I just lost my Kettenkrad, that was not what I wanted. I just wanted to go capture a point, but yay, I have found his whole army and his HQ. But dang it, there's a Cromwell. My Panzer IV cannot stand up to a Cromwell, so I decided to lay some butterfly bombs as I'm passing by his HQ, so any unit that tries to retreat to his HQ will get hit by the butterfly bombs. And then his whole army comes at my Panzer IV, which is like, yes, I can destroy his whole army right now, except for the fact that the Cromwell is behind me and hitting my rear armor. So I just slowly move my Panzer IVs, well, as quickly as I can because it was buttoned, away from the Cromwell and to long range. At this point I'm like, okay, I know I need something to take down this Cromwell. I can't get martyrs yet, so I have to get the AT half-track so I can at least tread break the Cromwell. That's exactly what I decided to do. I decided to get the AT half-track. If the Cromwell is tread broken, I can repair my Panzer IV without any worries, so that works out for me. That works out for me. Let me enunciate that correctly. So, I didn't let that squad fully reinforce, apparently. I decided to retreat those 2 squads just because I knew that at the time, or I thought that at the time, the opponent's Cromwell was going to go in my base because he thought I didn't have any way to counter the Cromwell, and he would have been pretty right except for AT grenades. So I fully expected him to go into my base, and then there we go, destroyed engine on the Cromwell. That's what I wanted. So now my infantry support tank can get repaired by all my infantry. Oh yeah, I never really explained why I retreated those 2 squads. I thought the Cromwell was going in my base, so I wanted them to help with throwing AT grenades at the Cromwell. That's why I retreated them. But now they're there, so I can repair my infantry support tank. I don't know why I'm calling it the infantry support tank. Normally I call it the Panzer IV. But whatever. I'll call it the infantry support tank if that's what my brain wants. I consider the Henschel strafing run because I have plenty of munitions to do it. And my opponent is starting to make tanks, but I'm like, against 1 tank is not really worth it. I might prefer something on the right side of the command tree. And hey, the Cromwell is back. Full health. What the heck? I actually know why it's full health, but I'm not gonna say. Actually, no, maybe I don't. Maybe he just repaired it. He might have just repaired it. I thought he had a second one, but maybe he just repaired it. Maybe he just repaired it. Ooh, I might be able to kill the lieutenant. No, lieutenant got away. But my butterfly bombs helped a lot in the middle. My infantry are pretty much guaranteed to win that battle. And my 4 infantry squads at my base are just repairing both of my vehicles. Decided to replace all the bombs. He blew up with some more butterfly bombs. Makes sense, because I do need to protect the middle. And I don't really expect him to go attacking the right side, because he doesn't seem to be good enough to do that. Or to think that. He's probably too frustrated at the fact that he doesn't have much of the map. I mean, he has half of it, but he only has 1 victory point. And there we go, a martyr. Now that my stalling with my AT half-track and my Panzer IV infantry support tank and my 4 infantry squad preparing the 2 has succeeded, I now have a mortar and I can actually destroy the Cromwells rather than just stall them. So that worked out quite well for me. Had my opponent moved into my base before I had the martyr, I probably would have just tread broken him again because I have so many munitions, quite honestly. So he would have slowly made it into my base, but not too fast. You did see a Cromwell in the middle of the map, I'm pretty sure you saw that. And then I was worried about it, but I knew it couldn't capture a point, so I was like, okay, well, whatever, worst case, it's just going to sit in the middle of the map, or it's going to attack me. In the end, it decided to attack me along with the other 2 Cromwells. That just lost my AT half-track, but that's fine. That's fine, I have a martyr now. At least I can do some damage to them, and my 4 infantry squads can just repair the martyr, or they can throw AT grenades. And there goes one of my base defenses, and at this point I decided to get the Henschel, because he has 3 tanks there, one of which is dead, actually. So I'm like, no, don't run away, I want to kill you. I just bought this, I just paid 200 munitions for this, and you're running away. That sucked. My Panzer IV infantry support tank, in case you're wondering where it went, there it is! I decided to go and destroy the left MG so I could go and get the left victory point, so that I could hurry up and win this game, because I was pretty sure at this point that I was going to win. He still had a formidable force, but I was pretty sure I was going to win because he put so much into those tanks. And I still had lots of infantry to repair all my vehicles, and I could still build more martyrs. I currently have 2 on the field. And my infantry support tank is getting attacked, so I send both my martyrs to go and ambush the Cromwell that's attacking my IST, infantry support tank. There's 2 Cromwells, yay, double the kills. I'm using my support tank to lure the Cromwells while my martyrs do the damage. My infantry support tank is also there to take all the damage because it has so much health. It just doesn't have a very strong gun against tanks. And dang it, I lost a martyr. That was not intentional. But yay, I just killed a Cromwell, and he decides to give up at this point because he knows my micro is better than his. So now that the game is over, let's talk about micro, the topic of this video. So you saw it towards the end. I was manually controlling each of my vehicles. My martyrs were individually controlled. My Panzer IV infantry support tank was individually controlled. I did group my these guys so that they could all repair the same vehicle at the same time to make repairs go really quick. But that's still micro because I'm using them separate from the rest of my army. And I'm not just like selecting my whole army or a big chunk of my army and saying, go here. That's not micro, that's macro. Because you're using one command to send multiple squads to a place. So that's kind of macro, not micro. So yeah, you might have to go back and rewatch that now that I've explained the micro behind it at the end of the match. I apologize for that. I really should have been explaining that as it was happening, but it was just too exciting. So yeah, you might want to go back and watch that. But other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.